Don't you ever touch that pot. The scream echoed through Auntie Mamakimi's kitchen like a blade cutting through silence. Her restaurant never slept. Day melted into night, but the fires kept burning. The aroma of palm oil and spices danced through the air like spirits calling the hungry. Even at 3 a.m., steam rose from her pots like prayers to forgotten gods. People came from every corner of Lagos. Some walked miles on bare feet. Others arrived on rickety bicycles. They all came for one reason. Mama Kimi's food was pure magic. Her pepper soup could resurrect the dead. Her jollof rice smelled like Christmas morning. The egusi soup thick as secrets, sweet as stolen kisses. Lines formed before the first pot touched flame. By the time she served the first plate, everything vanished within heartbeats. The woman has golden hands, they whispered. She must use ancient spices from the spirit world. But nobody asked questions. The food was too perfect, too addictive, too impossibly delicious. Her shop overflowed with laughter. Plates clattered like drums. Voices rose. More meat, Auntie Mama Kimi. She would flash her gold-toothed smile, ladling stew like liquid sunshine. Eat and forget your troubles, my children. But behind that radiant smile, something else was cooking. Something only Mama Kimi knew. Soon, Lagos would discover every kitchen has its darkest corner. In Mama Kimi's kitchen, where walls wept from heat, stood one pot that never moved. Massive. Black as midnight. Ancient as forgotten sins. It squatted in the darkest corner like a sleeping beast. That pot never opened for customers. Never bubbled with evening stew. Only once each year, when December arrived, Mama Kimi would approach it. Always alone. Always in darkness. Always with doors locked tight. The pot never released smoke when she used it. No one ever saw inside. But after those December nights, her food would taste like heaven itself. Sweeter than honey from celestial hives. Richer than a king's final feast. Her husband Emeka loved food more than life. He would dance through the kitchen, humming old highlife songs. Lifting pot covers like a child opening presents. But when his fingers reached toward the forbidden pot, Mama Kimi materialized like lightning. Never. Her voice cut through his soul. Why? He stammered. Because I said so, she hissed, eyes burning with ancient fire. That one is special. He never asked again. Even her workers knew better. They scrubbed every corner until it gleamed. But never that corner. Never that pot. When the last customer left, Mama Kimi would sit beside the pot. Sometimes whispering to it like a lover. Sometimes caressing its lid like a sleeping child. Only she knew what secrets it held. Mama Kimi's restaurant pulsed with life, but locals whispered strange questions. Why doesn't Auntie Mama Kimi hire our children? Why always new faces each year? Her workers appeared like ghosts. Young boys and girls with hollow cheeks and silent mouths. They worked as if invisible chains bound their souls. While others slept, they swept floors by candlelight. Every December, Mama Kimi would disappear. She packed her finest clothes and traveled to a forgotten village called Iko. Iko was where hope had died young. Dusty roads leading nowhere. Children with eyes too big for their faces. Mama Kimi moved through the village like a prophet of prosperity. House to house, family to family. Let me take your child to the city, she would coo to desperate parents. I will send them to university. They will wear fine clothes, eat rich food. When parents hesitated, she unveiled her weapon. Photographs. Pictures of children in crisp school uniforms. Smiling faces in bright classrooms. Look at Blessing, she would say. See how Michael shines in his laboratory coat. Your child will have the same future. The poor parents would wipe away tears. They would nod slowly, painfully. Take him. Give her a better life. Because when you have nothing, even lies look like salvation. Every Christmas, Mama Kimi returned with new children. And every year, they never returned home. The first child Mama Kimi claimed was 15-year-old Blessing. Her eyes always seemed on the verge of tears. When Blessing's house caught fire, everything turned to ash. Her parents died screaming inside walls that became their tomb. After the flames died, Blessing moved in with her uncle. But his own children were already starving. Blessing would sit by the river each evening, watching water flow like liquid sadness. That's where Mama Kimi found her. "Do you want to go to school, my daughter?" Blessing looked up, lips trembling like leaves in wind. She nodded, afraid to speak. Mama Kimi touched her shoulder with fingers warm as a mother's love. "I will care for you. You will learn, wear beautiful clothes, eat until your belly sings." The next morning, Mama Kimi spoke to the uncle with honey-sweet words. He agreed instantly, thinking God had answered his prayers. In Lagos, Blessing smiled for the first time since the fire. Mama Kimi bought her a school uniform, exercise books, even a small phone. School became her sanctuary. She learned with desperate hunger. Sometimes she even laughed. She called her uncle once, "I am safe. Maybe the world is kind again." But kindness in Mama Kimi's world was just seasoning for something darker. By second term, Mama Kimi's eyes turned cold as December rain. "You cannot just eat and study. What are you giving back?" School stopped like a heart giving up. Blessing began washing plates until her hands cracked like old leather. When she begged to visit her uncle, Mama Kimi smiled like a serpent. "Not yet, child. Be patient."
Please watch this thrilling story till the end to see who triumphs finally, and tell us in the comments which character you love the most. Don't forget to subscribe and let us know if you want part 2. Let's enjoy.
1 year crawled by like a wounded animal. Then Christmas arrived like a familiar nightmare. "Pack your things," Mama Kimi commanded one evening. "We're going to the village." Blessing's heart exploded with joy. Finally, she would see her people again. But Mama Kimi traveled only in darkness. They left under stars that looked like scattered tears. By morning, Mama Kimi arrived in Iko alone. "Where is Blessing?" someone asked. Mama Kimi's smile was perfect, practiced, poisonous. "Oh, she traveled with her school to Abuja for studies. She sends her love to everyone." She produced a photograph. Blessing in a classroom, holding a book, smiling. The people clapped and praised God for Mama Kimi's kindness. None of them knew the photo was taken before Blessing learned the truth. None of them suspected that smile was her last. In that moment of full celebration, another mother stepped forward. Her son stood beside her. A small boy with dreams bigger than his hunger. His name was David. "Please," the mother whispered, "take my son too." David was different from other children. His eyes were sharp like torchlight in darkness. His mind worked fast. He could fix broken radios with just a blade and wire. His mother, a widow, sold groundnuts under the scorching sun. Her fingers were always burned, her wrapper dusty. But her heart overflowed with hope for David. Mama Kimi looked at the boy, then at the trusting crowd. She nodded like a benevolent goddess. "I will help him. He will be just like Blessing." Another name was added to her harvest list. The pot in her kitchen was always hungry. David followed Mama Kimi to Lagos with eyes wide as saucers. Everything felt magical at first. She enrolled him in JSS 3, bought him a sharp pencil case, white socks, even a school bag with cartoon designs that made him feel like a prince. He joined the science club and called home every Sunday. "Mama, I am learning fast," he said once. "I even touched a computer." His mother danced under the mango tree that day. "Thank you, God," she whispered to the sky. But happiness in Mama Kimi's house never lasted long. 3 months passed like a beautiful dream ending. Then Mama Kimi said the words that changed everything. "Books don't boil rice. Come and help." Just like Blessing before him, David's books disappeared overnight. His uniform folded and forgotten. His school bag thrown under the bed like discarded hope. He started sweeping floors before dawn, peeling yam until his fingers bled, carrying firewood until his shoulders screamed in agony. He fetched water until his spine curved like a broken branch. His voice, once loud with classroom answers, became quiet as whispered prayers. "Can I go back to school?" he asked once. Mama Kimi stared at him with eyes cold as winter mornings. Did school ever feed you? She said coldly. From that day, he stopped asking questions. His dreams shrank smaller each passing hour. The bright boy who once fixed radios now only fixed his gaze on the floor. December approached like death collecting debts. And David had no idea what Mama Kimi's December rituals truly meant. One December night, Mama Kimi's voice cut through David's exhausted sleep. Pack your things. We're going home. David's heart exploded with pure joy. Mama, he shouted, tears streaming down his cheeks. I will see my mother. They left before the cock crowed. But when they reached Eco Village, Mama Kimi arrived alone again. The same lie, the same perfect performance. The boy went to America for school excursion, she told the gathering crowd. She showed a photo. David in a lab coat, holding a beaker, smiling like he'd conquered the world. Everyone clapped with thunderous approval. His mother smiled through tears of pride. But David was gone. And nobody asked where he really went. After blessing, after David, Mama Kimi did not stop. Every year, like the Harmattan wind, she returned to Eco. Soft words and heavy bags. She went from compound to compound carrying photos like keys. Keys that unlocked the hearts of desperate parents. Look at this one, he's now in science class. See her, she joined the school choir. Your child will be just like them. The parents believed every golden word. They saw smiling faces in uniforms. They saw children holding books near blackboards. They didn't know those pictures were old. Sometimes fake. Sometimes stolen from other children's lives. Mama Kimi always returned to Lagos with 2 or 3 new children. She gave them soap, toothbrushes, shoes, and dreams. But after some time, the shoes would vanish. The soap would finish. The books would be forgotten. And the dreams would die quietly like candles in the rain. One by one, the children turned into workers. One by one, they disappeared into Mama Kimi's December darkness. But while they vanished, Mama Kimi's business grew fat and prosperous. Mama Kimi's restaurant transformed before Lagos's amazed eyes. Her old wooden signboard became electric. Flashing lights painted the night red, green, yellow. Like a carnival of culinary deception. Her cooking pots grew wider, deeper, hungrier. Her wooden chairs upgraded to plastic benches that stretched like washing lines. The queue outside her door snaked around the block. People said her food had become impossibly divine. There's something special she adds to it, they whispered in market squares. Maybe it's her secret ancient recipe. Nobody knew her secret wasn't in the pepper. Not in the onions or crayfish. The secret was something darker. Something that came with a price written in children's blood. While her restaurant grew fatter with success, the village of Eco grew quieter with loss. Every year, another child left with Mama Kimi's promises. Every December, another family waited for letters that never came. The drums had stopped dancing in many compounds. In one small house at the village edge, a girl sat on a wooden bench. Her name was Destiny. Her eyes were quiet pools of sadness. Her feet were bare, her hair tied in soft braids. Destiny was an orphan. Both parents died from sickness that ate them from inside. She now lived with her grandmother, an old woman who sold herbs by the dusty roadside. They were so poor they shared 1 cup for drinking. Sometimes Destiny went to bed with only water filling her empty belly. That December morning, Mama Kimi's shadow fell across their doorway. Like death coming to collect what was owed. Tonight, you will understand your true purpose. Mama Kimi's voice echoed through the darkness like thunder splitting the sky. 3 children stood trembling in her kitchen. Faith, the newest arrival, barely 16. Samuel, who had been there 2 years. And Grace, whose dreams had died months ago. The forbidden pot sat before them like a hungry demon. Its surface reflected their terrified faces. Mama Kimi approached with a blade that gleamed like liquid moonlight. Her gold teeth flashed in the candlelight. Every year, I choose the strongest, she whispered. The one whose spirit burns brightest. That spirit becomes the secret ingredient. Faith's legs buckled beneath her. Samuel tried to run but the doors had been locked from outside. Grace closed her eyes and prayed to gods who seemed to have forgotten her name. You see, my children, Mama Kimi continued, circling them like a predator. Lagos people think my food tastes like heaven. They are right. Because it contains the essence of young souls. Souls that trusted me. Souls that believed my lies. The blade moved closer to Faith's trembling throat. Her tears fell like rain on drought-cracked earth. Please, she whispered. I want to go home. Mama Kimi's laugh was colder than Harmattan wind. Home, she cackled. Child, you are home. This kitchen is where dreams come to die. Where hope becomes seasoning. Where children become the secret that makes my business prosper. The blade touched Faith's skin. One drop of blood fell into the ancient pot. The liquid inside began to bubble without fire. Without heat. Without mercy. But tonight, something would go differently. Tonight, the hunter would become the hunted. Stop right there. The kitchen door exploded open like lightning striking earth. Inspector Ada Aura stood in the doorway, her police uniform stained with sweat and determination. Her gun pointed directly at Mama Kimi's heart. Behind her, 3 constables with faces hard as granite. Mama Kimi's blade clattered to the floor like broken dreams. How did you? She stammered. Find you. Ada Aura stepped forward, her voice cutting through fear like a sword. Your own greed betrayed you. Remember Kyoma from last year? Mama Kimi's face turned white as bleached bones. She escaped. Crawled through that window you forgot to lock. Walked 15 kilometers on bleeding feet. Found our station at dawn, speaking like someone who had seen hell. Kyoma stepped from behind the officers. Her eyes burned with the fire of survival. Her voice cracked like breaking chains. I told them everything, she whispered. Every lie you told our parents. Every child who never came home. Every scream that echoed from this cursed kitchen. The 3 children collapsed in relief. Faith sobbed like rain finally breaking a drought. Samuel's legs shook like leaves in a storm. Grace opened her eyes and saw Justice wearing a police uniform. But Mama Kimi wasn't finished. Her hand moved toward a hidden knife. Her smile returned like a serpent preparing to strike. You think this ends my story? She hissed. I have been doing this for 20 years. 20 years of perfect meals. 20 years of satisfied customers. You cannot stop what I have built. She lunged toward the children with desperate fury. The inspector's finger tightened on the trigger. Time moved like honey in winter. One shot would change everything. Search everything. Inspector Adeora's command rang through the kitchen like a battle cry. Her officers moved like ants disturbed from their hill. They overturned every pot, opened every cabinet, examined every corner. Mama Kimi sat handcuffed, her golden smile finally broken. You will find nothing, she spat. I am too careful for you fools. But Constable Emeka approached the forbidden pot with trembling hands. The ancient vessel that had never been opened for customers. Never bubbled with evening stew. Never revealed its secrets. Until now. Inspector, his voice cracked like dry wood. You need to see this. Inside the pot, floating in dark liquid, were fragments of horror. Pieces of bone white as fresh paint. Scraps of clothing from children who had vanished. And at the bottom, like a crown of nightmares, a small skull with teeth still intact. The inspector's stomach lurched like a boat in violent waves. Dear God, she whispered. Kyoma pointed with a shaking finger. That belongs to my friend Blessing. She wore those same earrings when she disappeared. The officers found more evidence buried in the backyard. Shallow graves marked only by dying flowers. 23 children had fed Mama Kimi's success. 23 families who still waited for letters that would never come. 23 dreams turned into ingredients for Lagos's favorite restaurant. Faith, Samuel, and Grace clung to each other like survivors of a shipwreck. They were alive because justice had arrived just in time. But the horror they had witnessed would follow them forever. Like shadows that never fade. Like nightmares that never end. like the taste of evil that lingers on your tongue. The city would soon learn the truth about their beloved Mama Kimi. The entire city was eating human flesh. The news anchor's voice shattered Lagos like thunder breaking silence. Television screens across the city flickered with the horrifying revelation. Mama Kimi's restaurant had been serving customers for 15 years. 15 years of human remains mixed with rice and stew. 15 years of Lagos residents unknowingly consuming the children she had murdered. The city erupted in chaos. People vomited in the streets, remembering their favorite meals. Families rushed to hospitals, desperate to cleanse their systems. Churches filled with worshippers begging God for forgiveness. But the most shocking revelation was yet to come. Inspector Adaora discovered Mama Kimi's record book. A ledger written in her own blood-stained handwriting. Names, dates, and cooking methods for each child. Blessing, December 2019, used in pepper soup special. David, December 2020, mixed with jollof rice for New Year. Michael, December 2021, ground into meat pies for Valentine's Day. But the final entry made Adeora's blood freeze in her veins. Chief Commissioner Johnson, special order, fresh liver soup, tomorrow. The Chief of Police. The man who had delayed her investigation for months. The man who had questioned why she was wasting time on missing village children. He wasn't just protecting Mama Kimi. He was her biggest customer. Her most important client. Her partner in this cannibalistic empire. As Adaora reached for her phone to call for backup, she heard footsteps behind her. Slow, deliberate, menacing. You should have minded your own business, Chief Johnson's voice whispered in the darkness. The sound of a gun cocking echoed through the kitchen. But this time, the inspector realized with growing horror. She might not be the hunter. She might be the final ingredient.
If you love gripping and emotional stories that keep you hooked, don't forget to hit like and subscribe my channel, Africa FolkStory. Join our journey for more mind-bending tales every day.